Right, so first a little bit of off the bitumen adventure with the new altitude. It's not a really tough track. I only picked it up yesterday, so I definitely do not want to do any damage. I came up this track without airing down and got to the top and thought, it's probably a bit silly, so I aired down to 25, just for good order's sake. It's always good to air down, better traction, better for the track, and will save hopefully tyre damage in case there's sharp rocks, etc. Bigger footprint, low and slow is the rule. So it's as expected. There's been nothing on this track that has and I haven't gone all the way through. I've only gone up the first kilometre or so of this track. It's Prado track in southern Tassie, just outside Margate. I'm just trying out the bits and pieces basically. I've gone up in high 4, and then I changed to low, and then I've tried crawl for a while, see what that was like. Sway bar disconnect. I've got the sway bar disconnected or pushed on, so that's disconnected, just to give me that extra bit of wheel travel. I must say it's been very easy peasy, but then again, I mean I came through here on my Jeep. I am using the camera as well, just for wheel placement purposes. I'm not used to having a camera underneath my car. I'll just show you. So this is the view. You can see underneath the car, and that gives you a closer view on the rocks that you're about to go over, which is pretty cool. You can see there I've got 4 low on. Sway but stabilizer disconnect is flashing now to say that it's turned off. I'm going to turn it back on again. You saw there that's just flashing to come back on again. I don't need it, I think, on this track, but it's kind of cool to try. It's handling it with the sort of ease that you would expect on an off-road spec Toyota Prado. I had no issues with traction whatsoever on the way up in high 4 with full pressure tyres, but that was a bit of laziness on my part. It is better for the tyres, it is better for the track to air them down. So as I said, down to 25 psi, and I'm just crawling through this track. You probably can't see the steepness on it. It's not that steep, it's just downhill. There are some reasonable little ruts, but nothing that will challenge this, I wouldn't have thought. As I said, I've been through this several times with my Duke Grand Cherokee, which I am about to part with in the next couple of days. It's been bought by a local, so I didn't expect to have any issues. I haven't taken it further up the track where you've got the logs. That's very rutted, and definitely potential for panel damage, and there's no way with a car that I've had for 24 hours that I'm going to take it on that sort of track. So it's lightish off-road, just to get a feel for the systems and the cameras and how the sway bar disconnect works. But it's a very comfortable ride. It just handles it. There's no scraping, there's no scratching, there's no groaning, there's no protesting. It just handles it. So I thought I'd also, while I've got the camera on, go through in the 24 hours some of the likes and dislikes. So one thing that annoys me a little bit, and it's just a first world problem probably, is that this car has heads-up display, which should be coming out of there. When I have my polarized glasses on, because I do a lot of fishing obviously, I can't see the heads-up display. I've got to take my glasses off and wear normal glasses or whatever to be able to see the heads-up display. So that's kind of a shame. And also the rear vision mirror. So when I'm looking out the rear vision mirror here, it's okay, but it's distorted a little bit by my Polaroids. What I can do, and this is one of the features I do love very much, really love, is put on the rear camera. So I have a digital rear view mirror now, and that's going to be fantastic for backing up the trailer at the boat ramp and the lakes. You just have such a better view than using the normal mirror. It is incredible. That's got to be one of my favorite features, I think. I can't wear it out, I'm sure, by having it on, but I'll just go back to the normal That's an all rear view. You can see how dark it is, right, compared to the brightness you get from the digital one, which is amazing. I also love my charging pad, wireless charging, my wireless Apple CarPlay and Android. That is a definite love. The camera system I love. Still love the drive. Still think, I don't know if you can hear it, it's still a little bit chattery, the diesel, compared to what I'm used to, but when you're on the highway or even at 70 or 60 or whatever, just cruising along, you don't hear a thing. It's a really, really, really quiet car, and it just handles the bumps and undulations and, you know, bad bits in the road so well. It's just such a comfortable ride, more comfortable than my Jeep Grand Cherokee, definitely, and that had a 2-inch ARB Old Man Emu lift, it's upgraded suspension, and this definitely, in its stock form, with its suspension, is a better ride. No doubt about that. It's going to be interesting to see. So we've got a reasonable hole coming up here. I might just show that on the camera. It doesn't show the magnitude, but the car's going to dip a bit as we go down into the hole. Boom, there we go, into the hole. Nothing scrapes, not even a mud flap scraped. So on Tuesday, probably Tuesday, I'm going up to the Highland Lakes here in Tassie to do some fly fishing, and I'm going to be taking my boat. So it's the first time. It's a 4.5 metre tinny, Stacer Assault Pro. It's the first time I'm going to tow with this, and so I will do, I guess, a little bit of a video on that. I expect if it can tow 3.5 tons now, that it's not going to have a lot of dramas with my boat. It is a tinny. You know, it's still a bit of heft, but it's nothing like the caravan that I used to tow with the Jeep, which was you know, 300 on the ball basically, so like a 3-ton van. Likes and dislikes. What else? I don't know. It doesn't have a lot of storage, right? If I've got to make a picky comment, there's 2 cup holders and there's the little fridge under the armrest. But there's nothing else really. The door bins are not big enough to take one of those large drinking bottles. They'll only take a regular, like a pump, 600ml pump. And there's just not a lot of area. Even the glove box is not particularly huge. So storage is probably a bit of a whinge, if I had to have a whinge. Not being able to see the heads-up display is a bit of a whinge, if I have to have a whinge about anything. The menus, I haven't figured out how even to get tyre pressure monitoring up. I'm pretty sure I have tyre pressure monitoring on this grade, but I haven't figured out how to bring it up yet. It wasn't on the off-road pages in the menu of the car, so it's got to be somewhere else. I think in this dash console in here, you can toggle around and get different views, trip views and all sorts of views. I just don't know how to bring up the tyre pressure monitor yet, so I will have to actually read the instructions and figure that out. But anyway, that's for when I get home. I'll turn off here, and that was it. I mean, there's nothing really I don't like. Everything is really good. I really love it. It's such a great ride. The seats are super comfortable. The 4-wheel drive controls are just here. Everything's just here. You know, you got your mode select, you got your drive modes, you got your multi-terrain select, you've got your crawl mode. It's just all there. You got the camera switch down here. You got your cold engine start. I think it just adds a little throttle or a little choke when you start up fresh. It's got a tow haul mode down there that changes the ratios of everything for when you're towing or hauling, as the Americans will say. And I haven't tried that out. I'll try that out obviously on Tuesday when I go up to the Highland Lakes. Fair few hills to climb there, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, that's it. I don't have a lot in terms of negatives, that's for sure. It's just too early. I guess the more I get to drive it, I might figure out. Oh, one little niggling thing with a car that's kind of expensive is there should really, normally there's a sunglass holder up here. There's nothing. You've got your sunroof obviously, but there is no pop-down sunglass holder. It's a small thing, but I've come to really expect that. The last couple of cars I've had have all had even a Kia Sorento and a Jeep Grand Cherokee, they've all had one. I guess that's another one of the storage negatives. It just doesn't have oodles. The back's fine, the boot's fine, obviously the rear seat's fine, but I don't know, there could be more storage hideaways and whatever's that just don't exist as it is. But you know, if that's the biggest problem I've got with the car, I'm liking the engine. I thought I wouldn't. It has plenty of acceleration, plenty of power. It might be a little bit different under tow when I have the boat on the back, but acceleration, etc., whether it's boosted by that 48-volt system with the 9 Newton meters or whatever it adds, 9 kilowatts it adds to the I'm not sure which it was actually. It adds to the system when you're accelerating. Maybe that improves it, but it's definitely not a slug. If you stick the boot into it at speed, it doesn't kick in like it would if it was just, you know, 190, 200 kilowatts. But it does perfectly well. We're not Peter Brock. It doesn't need. It's an SUV. It doesn't need to go 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. Not 60 miles an hour, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6 seconds. Just not necessary. All right, thanks for watching again, and please like and subscribe. I have the last video I put up, I've had I think close to 12,000 views, and I have less than 200 subscribers. So if you want to see some more content, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Cheers guys and girls.